I'm Princess Zelda.
I'm Timmy Turner.
I am mac and cheese.
I am confused.
And we're the Idiot Savants. And you're listening to Crazy Train of Thought on the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. All
14 teraflops.
So I have my clone and my drone going out.
Thanks for shitting on my dreams, Phillip.
But he's awesome.
I would be okay with dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs a lot.
Wayne Wright Jacobs.
You take 1,276 and a half Gamecubes, duct taped together.
We're going off the rails on a crazy train of thought.
Check a look.
Welcome, everybody, to Crazy Train of Thought, brought to you by the Idiot Savants. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am your host, Ryan Wolf. On today's episode, I have
Austin Atchison.
Austin's here. First time on the podcast, Austin. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Glad to be here.
You're related to Troy.
We're cousins.
I'm so sorry.
It gets even better because we work together. He's my boss.
Shit.
Oh, you better be really nice then.
Oh, he threatens to kick me in the nuts all the time.
Well, do you deserve it?
We're allowed
though?
to.
Like,
Well, I don't think I do.
I'm not
90%
sure
of the time.
that workplace violence is okay, even if you're related.
As long as we're related, they don't care. I've got the confirmation from HR.
Oh, crap.
I suppose if you ask somebody that knows, then all right, fine. Next,
Phillip.
Phillip's here.
Yes.
Welcome back, Phillip.
I'm glad to be back. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. We're recording on a weird day today. This is a Friday, and we usually record on a Tuesday, but I've been sick.
Somebody had the flu.
Yeah. Viral bronchitis is what I think Rachel said that she had, so I assume that's also what I had.
Did you get an inhaler?
No, I didn't go to the doctor because
Oh, you should
it's
have.
not really my thing.
In 2017, in the beginning of the year, I basically felt like I was dying. I go to the doctor and he's like, yeah, you have pneumonia and bronchitis.
Oh, shit.
So I had like a thing of antibiotics,
Okay.
a thing of some other medicine I don't remember, an inhaler. So I took those and gone.
Yeah.
My ex had came over and make like soup and stuff, and I would just sit there and be like,
Just veg out.
or this dumpling show. It sucked.
Yeah, that sounds like. I was not in that bad of a way. Monday was a bad day. I learned that fever dreams are a real thing.
Ooh.
I didn't know that was even real. I'd like, Taylor Swift says it in that one song that's pretty good. And obviously I'd heard of it as a thing, but I didn't know. And like Monday for probably 3 hours, I was sitting on the couch upstairs and I would drift off into like this kind of sleepy stupor. And I would be dreaming, and it would feel like I was dreaming for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And I'd wake up, and probably 45 seconds had passed. But it wasn't like I was rested or anything, because I was having these really fucked up, weird dreams. And that lasted for about 3 hours.
Were they all about Troy?
Yeah. Yeah, they were all about Troy being my boss. It was horrific.
I will say, if you're ever sick like that again, especially bronchitis, at least go and get an inhaler.
Okay.
Because that made a huge difference. 'Cause
Really?
you don't even realize like how little you can breathe.
Right.
And then you take it and it's just, and you're like, I can breathe again. And then you kind of relax a bit because you don't realize how stressed up your whole body is. Just
Right.
like you don't even realize it until you're like, I feel weird. And you take it and then you're like, That's what it is. I can't breathe.
Okay. Well, next time I get bronchitis, I'll get the inhaler. We forgot Troy.
Pokemaster Troy Osborn.
Pokemaster Troy Osborn is here.
Last but not least, buddy.
Thanks for being on, Troy. We've got a shit ton of stuff to get to today, so we're actually going to jump right into it. Troy, you're going to go to St. Louis to watch the XFL team, the Battlehawks, play. Is that correct? You bought XFL tickets?
No.
What the fuck else is in St. Louis?
Pokemon Go Safari Zone.
Oh, it's something even nerdier.
Yes. way nerdier,
I mean, at
would
first
say.
I was excited about Pokemon, but then he said Pokemon Go.
Totally ruined.
Not anymore.
Just try it, man.
I played it. No, I played it when it first came out, and the first
it's
2
so
months,
much better, though.
Well,
now,
I mean, it itself might be better, but like it's kind of like it passed because that first 2 months where you could go there, everybody's in the park, and you're just like, hey, what are you
finding
like,
dead people and shit?
Yeah, we found a lot of dead people.
I mean, that still happens, just not as many people.
It just doesn't get reported on.
Me and a friend,
it's
went
not
out,
novel
like,
anymore, finding dead people playing Pokemon Go.
It's been on the news like 50 times now. Who knew?
Yeah, they kept finding the bodies I was leaving, so I had to stop.
That's why you don't like Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I did go around with my friend, though. It was like maybe midnight one night because he's like, hey, there's this Pokemon here at this park. So we went there and he's like a security guard. So he has this massive taser nightstick flashlight thing. And it looks like some kind of Batman gadget. We're just wandering around with this massive flashlight. And then I can't remember what we found, but we were looking all over and then it was in the sprinklers. But we found this massive Pokemon. We're like, there it is. But I don't remember what it was.
Man, at night even.
Yeah.
Adventures. I've been pulled over a couple times playing Pokemon Go.
On 6 cell phones? Were you that guy we reported on a while ago?
No.
Okay.
I forgot to turn my lights on after I had started driving again, and the police officer's like, why are you driving without your lights on? I was like, I forgot I was
I
playing
wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I was playing Pokemon Go. The wife had to pee. I was in a hurry.
Tell me about this St. Louis trip, though. You've got tickets to the Safari Zone.
Yep, tickets to a Safari Zone that's happening in St. Louis. Sometime at the end of next month, I think.
Okay, so you're gonna see the big arch that's in St. Louis.
Maybe, I would assume so.
Are you gonna go to a Nelly concert? Maybe see the St. Lunatics while you're there?
Nope. I'm literally going there to play Pokemon, and we're coming back that day.
What?
It will be less than 2 weeks.
That's an 8-hour drive.
It'll be like 2 or 3 weeks after we have the baby.
Oh, good.
So
good idea.
The baby is staying home, and my wife is like, I can't be a whole night without the baby, but she's the one that bought the tickets.
All
we are going there, and on the way home, she said, if I absolutely positively can't make it, we will stop.
Oh my God. Wait, so what time? So legit, how long does it take you to get there?
I think it's 6 to 8 hours, somewhere in there.
Okay, that was my guess.
Yeah.
How long are you going to be there?
All day.
Okay, so it starts at what?
Probably like 10. 9, 10.
Okay.
And
so are
it'll
you
go
leaving at like 2 a.m?
Probably.
You are crazy.
Dude, you're not going to make it. You're for sure not going to make it.
I won't make it home.
Is it just you and your wife going, or do you have like a whole
Me, my
crew
wife,
planned?
and Emmett.
And your son.
Yes.
Who can't drive. He's 4.
just 3.
Hey, it's never too early to get him started.
That's true. You can train him on Forza.
I'm gonna hit the cruise control. You just steer, okay, buddy?
Yep.
Hey,
Daddy's gonna take a little nap.
I have one of those plastic things that goes over your controller, turns it into a steering wheel.
Oh yeah.
Bingo! Yeah.
He plays Mario Kart, right?
He's not very good.
Badly.
With
Never mind.
with all the assists on, where it just kind of keeps you on the track. Yeah, that's how he plays.
Well, if you drive my car, he's got the lane assist. He
Yeah.
knows he can get it back into place if it starts beeping at him.
Someone just want to let me borrow their Tesla? I heard that automated drive thing is going great.
So, how are you going to contend with the coronavirus while you're there?
I'm driving, so I'm not gonna fly. And
Well, it's not just on planes.
Well,
like...
that's coming on planes from China. I mean, unless they came on a ship.
All he has to do
But
is
it's in
drink
Chicago.
Yingling instead.
So I'm sure, just drink Yingling. That'll fucking kill that shit. I mean, I don't know if it's in other major U.S. cities, but it's definitely been in Chicago.
I don't know.
Just what is
thought
that
it
your
was
trip?
just
Whatever the
announced
fuck.
that
I'm
California.
going. So
But it was only in California
suck it,
so far.
Corona.
I heard Chicago, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I misread Chicago.
I know. One of the people at work saw a article and printed it off and hung it on the thing, thinking it was news, and it says 300 people in Michigan have asked to self quarantine themselves because of being scared of the coronavirus.
Okay.
And what they took that as is there's 300 people in Michigan that have the coronavirus.
Oh my God.
I was like,
Nope. That's
I
not what that
literally
says.
explained it to Dave today. I was like, that means that they're just scared of it, right?
I mean, it would make sense for Michigan.
Hey.
Yeah, we're both from Michigan. We're all three from Michigan, I think.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
Damn.
He lived 3 houses down from me.
You're in the minority, Phil.
I would apologize, but I'm not sorry.
It's fine. You have the Zelda tattoo. You're good.
Yeah, and I'm from like 4 states, so I don't have anything.
Wow,
to say.
you were born in the Four Corners, or what?
No, I was born in
Different pieces of
Pennsylvania.
him.
Lived there for 2
The
years, then
cyborg.
went to Indiana, then went to Tennessee. I've been all around the place, so
Been everywhere, man.
yeah.
I guess technically all of us were probably born in Elkhart. Oh, my bad. In Indiana.
I was not.
Nope.
No?
Born in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
I was born up in the UP.
Oh, yeah.
So you're
Yeah,
now
you're-
in the minority.
Shit.
I've been playing some Resident Evil 2,
That game is amazing. The remake or the old one?
the remake. So I've never played the original because I never had a PlayStation and it never came to any Xbox platforms. So I bought it because it got really good reviews from a bunch of different sources at the end of last year. And I've never gotten into a Resident Evil game. And I am pretty familiar with the story, just having been, into gaming culture for a long time. I know what the story of Resident Evil 2 is. And I understand that there is 2 different paths for this game. So you can play as Claire Redfield, who is looking for her brother, or Leon Kennedy. And I chose Claire's path first. I'm not sure if I should have done that.
I would say like that's apparently the correct way. I mean, the thing is with this remake, they made it less like really specific because in the original it was like 100. It's Claire and then Leon, and it made huge differences. Where in this one, the differences are really minor and almost don't even matter.
Okay.
So really, whoever you do it, it's fairly because I played Leon once again. Because I had to get through it in a certain amount of time to unlock the unlimited ammo gun. And I'm like, I don't know Claire's enough. So I did that.
Right.
Did his, played Claire's. And then I think I did Leon's again under B. I can't remember. I've played it through a couple of times.
Okay.
But not much of a difference. There was some parts, and I'd say play A and A.
Okay.
Don't go A
Right.
and then B, because it's kind of confusing to be jump ahead. And I enjoyed it much more playing, because it's still really fun to play through more than once. And there's
Right.
enough differences to where then you kind of understand where they're at a bit more in B.
Okay.
Because I first did Leon and then I went to Claire B and I'm like, I am so lost.
Right.
So I went back and played Claire A and I'm like, okay, I like this.
How long do you think your playthroughs took you?
My first one, because I did no advice, no hints, no rushing. Oh, my first one, because I was in the police place for maybe 15 hours. And then I
Yeah.
went to the next place because I wasn't rushing. I was having
Right.
so much fun. So my first one was probably somewhere between 20 to 30 hours.
Okay.
Because I just was trying to have fun and find all the stuff. And then I did Leon's again to get the pistol. I did that in 3 hours. I was like right under the mark, and I'm like, I did it!
Nice.
Ah!
Nice.
And I got the gun. And then Claire's, I think, was 5 or 6.
Okay.
Because you kind of because the first time you play through, it takes a really long time.
Well,
And then-
I'm coming to it pretty green, right?
Yeah.
So, like, having not really done any sort of Resident Evil games, even 4, I never even played 4.
Yeah.
And I know that was a lot of people's jumping on point. and kind of the beginning of the behind the back camera, shoulder view camera and stuff like that. And I don't hate the way it plays, but it's like going from a third person shooter like Control, where I am fucking zipping all over the map. I'm flying for most of the parts, and I've got all these different powers, and it plays really fast. And then going to Resident Evil and being like, oh damn, I am so vulnerable as a character in this world that like she doesn't move very fast. Even when she's sprinting, it's a jog.
And that's
like move, come on, let's go.
Yeah, that's
We're
kind
getting
of
chased here.
That's pretty much how it's set up, which I enjoy because it's not some of the things I don't like about the horror aspect in some horror games is where you're completely helpless. I'm like, that's not fun. You're just being scared to be scared.
Yeah.
I can't even do those games like Amnesia and
sure. Yeah.
Oh, whatever the one when you go in Outlast.
Maybe, yep. Yeah.
I like almost shit my pants.
Yeah.
I got to the first thing, I'm like, I'm done. I cannot play this. But I went into Resident Evil 2. It scares me just enough, but I feel like you can do something.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
People had compared it to Dead Space, which is a game I really, really love.
I could agree on that. Dead Space.
For sure.
Best in that type of thing to where
probably
it will scare the crap out of you, but you can really do something so it's fun of like, I have a chance, and it's almost scarier because it's like, I have to fight these things because I have a chance.
Yeah. I'm glad you've played it, Phil, because I have a problem with Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
In that I am doing a lot of exploring, like you said, and so far what I have... Like that first area, the police station.
Yeah.
It's basically a puzzle game with zombies.
Yes.
Like retraversing the areas and unlocking places because you found a new part, like a set of keys or a valve to turn off this steam pipe thing. And there's a handful of other parts that you come across that allow you access to different parts of the map that you couldn't do before. But the thing that I'm running into is, okay, I have explored mostly those areas, and now I'm getting to the point where I'm accessing the smaller portions that I couldn't get to before. But because I've already explored those areas, I've already scoured for ammo, and now I'm out of fucking ammo.
Ooh.
And I've already scoured them because I've already been there, but they are still introducing people for me to fight in those areas where I've already been, but not giving me more ammo retraversing them. So I don't know what to do now, and I died from the... I don't know what the enemy type is called, but it's the first time you see the thing that can climb on the walls and it has a long tongue and
Lickers.
it's like yes,
I
the
hate
lickers.
those. They did a good job at making those things creepy as shit.
Yeah,
in
they're
this game.
super
Like,
creepy, and the
God.
game looks amazing. It's
my
fucking
gosh.
beautiful.
The engine they made is ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's a good looking game, but like I guess maybe I'm at the point where I need some advice.
I'm trying to think because like. You really can't play it like a run and gun. You really have to be careful on headshots. And then I guess I didn't have that much trouble because I played the demo, so I kind of... Some of it is you have to find specific windows to block so they can't keep coming in. That'll stop them from respawning because that's how they come in.
Okay.
I've
definitely blocked some windows, but I don't know which one. Fuck, there's a window, I guess I'll block that.
You can look at your map.
And
it'll actually like show this window is open, and then if you block it, it'll like put a thing on it.
Okay. I didn't necessarily see that part.
I think the ammo is finite. I'm not 100% sure. I'm fairly certain it's somewhat finite, but
it definitely seems finite.
I know that I'm trying to think because I don't think I got too caught because I was like really trying to be conservative. You got to go for headshots, and if you can, just run.
Yeah.
Avoid the little zombies as much as you can. The bigger enemies like the lickers and stuff, they don't respawn. There's a certain amount of them.
Okay.
So you like I'd save shotgun and all that stuff, get them, kill them, be done. They're the worst ones to leave alive.
Yeah.
And then I mean, I pretty much just you really take it super slow and just try to go for headshots. And then I'm trying to remember what all I did, because I don't think I ran out of ammo.
I've only have the pistol, and I'm out of pistol ammo. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I have some machine gun ammo, and I have some shotgun shells.
I'm trying to remember how you get the shotgun. Because you get...
It's in the armory, and I have to find the keys. The keys to unlock the...
Okay, I think I remember where the key card is.
Okay.
It's on the second level. You go through a door, and there's like a TV, and then there's a safe under a desk.
I don't know how to unlock the safes. I've seen several safes, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna kick it.
Those were that was the one thing I cheated on. Because you find the codes. You find them as like a film or written somewhere. One cool thing I did do, because I know how to break them, is they have the 3. There's like the lockers, and it's just 3 codes.
That I just brute force my way through, where I pick the first, like, reset the whole thing, and then just brute force my way through it.
1 and then click. And click. And click. I actually, because I'm like, I know how to break into these. So I did it, and then it worked, and I was like, aha!
Yeah, because you get unlimited tries on that, so that's all I did was just reset
Basically
it completely.
Take about 30 minutes until you...
Yeah.
So I did that, which it's good that you did that.
Yep.
Not the safes. It's not in the safe. But when you go up on the second level, so if you enter into the place... Like you're entering into the thing. So you see stairs going up, statue.
Yep.
There's left side, right side. It's right side, second level. You go through that door. And then in that room, it's like a receptionist. There's another door. And then right across that's a little hall. And then there's another door. I don't know if you need a key. You should probably have it by now.
Okay.
I can't remember if it's heart or diamond or whatever. But you should have it by now.
Okay.
In that room.
Yeah, I've got the spade key. And I've gotten to the point where I've utilized the spade key as much as I can, and it says to get it out of my inventory.
That is one thing I love that they did.
That's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, that it tells you that you don't need it anymore. Yeah.
So it would be like terrifying to know. But yeah, that's a great thing they did. But yeah, that's where you go. You go up there, and then in that room, there's a statue, which is a puzzle. You can do that and get some stuff. But then in there is that key card.
Okay. So what is your favorite thing about it so far?
My favorite thing... it plays well. It really reminds me of 4, but gives the tension and very slow movement of the original. There was a ton of passion in this one, because everybody was like, Capcom, what the hell are you doing? You guys are ruining everything. They're like, okay, we're going to do 7. We're going to do 2. We're going to do Devil May Cry, and it's going to be amazing. And they're like, we're going to make sure that it's good for the consumers.
Yeah.
And it really was like, I'm like, man, I wish I got the collector's edition to support this, but I played it a bunch, and then because I didn't have time due to work and all this other stuff, and I was going to play other games, they had a $5 little thing that gives you the unlockables, because I'm like, I want to try these things out. I don't have the time to get them, and I feel okay with how good this game is to buy this and like support them, and then I get the stuff.
I love that you justified your microtransactions to everybody just now.
Because like, you don't need it.
Yeah.
But it takes a substantial amount of time, and I'm like, I feel okay because I like this game. I want to support it, and I literally can't do it any other way. I don't have the time, because you have to, because they give you all the unlockables, so you get the rocket, and I'm like, I just want to experience these things, and you know, so, and $5, I'm like, that's not even bad. It's not 20.
Right. Not as bad as Gears of War.
The Mr. X, for sure. Absolutely terrifying. Even when you get to points to when like you can fuck with him, he's still scary because you don't know where he is. There was one time I'm like, I'm gonna get you, and I'm waiting for him, and then he's right here, and I'm like, son of a bitch, and I jump out of my chair, I pause it, and I'm like, fuck you, I thought I knew where you were. So I'm not excited for 3, because
that's coming out in April, and that's why I started playing through it, because I was like, here we go. If I'm going to get into Resident Evil, this is probably going to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably stick with a little bit more and see if I can maybe load a previous save. Like, I don't know, being out of ammo, it's really tough to try and traverse the world.
If you can get to the shotgun, you'll definitely be a little easier. And then just be more careful about the zombies. Try to focus on the big ones. Go past them if you can. Okay. Would be the best advice. And then if you do need to load back, go back. And then if you need to and you're really struggling, just look up some tutorials and get a couple hints. It's better than not playing.
That's true. Yeah.
Because once you get past the police station, it still has the puzzle aspect and kind of the back and forth, but it's way more straightforward. Okay. Because everything's kind of a progression and you have small micro areas with small micro puzzles. Okay. Whereas the police station is almost half the game.
All right.
So it's really, that's why, like, once you know what to do, you can get through the police station in like an hour, and then everything else is pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right. So, well, I appreciate your praise of it, man, because I was like, for real, I was about ready to shit all over it, but it seems like I'm maybe, my struggles are caused by me. Yeah, in this
Ryan
case.
sucks at video games.
I do.
No, it's just like it's very because they give you like the ability to fight, but you have to be really careful about it because you will screw yourself over. And if you think, "Oh, I'm just gonna gung ho through this," nah,
not happening.
That was the first thing when I'm like, I got to change everything. I killed enemies. I'm like, they don't drop no bullets.
Yeah, no,
they don't drop no bullets.
They sure don't. Shouldn't have killed that motherfucker. Didn't have to.
I think there is a mode or like another character because like there's so many unlockables. It's insane. Even in just the normal one, because like you unlock this character, you unlock the second playthrough, you unlock a third character, and then you unlock the joke character where you get to play as a block of tofu.
Nice.
And then there's like
really
6 versions of them to where they each have their own different loadout. But I think one of the characters you play as, who's a fan favorite, but I won't say who it is in case you get there. Sure. But I think that person's playthrough is styled differently because it's like leading up to the events. And that one is more like what you get is what you have. And when you kill enemies, I think they do drop ammo because that one's playing a little differently.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then with 3, I'm excited, but I'm way more scared because Mr. X is a pain, but you deal with him for a small amount of time and you're like, I'm okay. Whereas Nemesis is the entire game. He never stops chasing you.
Charge. Did you play 3?
No. I played a little bit. I played a lot of 1, and then I messed something up because I'm like, I want to get through this. I've never fully beaten it. Right. And I'm like, I played the DS version, I played the original PlayStation version, and then I was playing through the remaster. Okay. And I'm following a tutorial because I'm like, I want to get through this. I want to beat it because I never have. Yeah. And they didn't tell me you have to rush to do this one thing, otherwise this character dies and you are fucked. And I'm like, you couldn't have said this. Like I ran and I took like 10 minutes too long. Yeah. Because I didn't know. I was like trying, I'm like, oh, I can get this and then do this little puzzle. I shouldn't have done the other little puzzle. Right. And I get back, I'm like, what? He's dead? What now? And then I'm like, okay, I'd have to start over. So no, I'm done.
Okay.
And then
that sucks.
So I didn't play 3. I played a good chunk of 2, but this was, gosh, when I was maybe 16 or 17. Right, so I was not so good at those puzzle ones, and I just got lost because it's way harder to navigate in the PS1 one when it all looks the same.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I did start with 4. I played 5, played a little bit of 6, but barely anything. Can't play 7 because the first person horror ones, I can't get through them. So I'm like, I love what you did, but I'm not going to play it. The demo scared me enough. Yeah. And then once they announced 2, I'm like, yes, I love Leon. He's my favorite character. This is going to be great. And then it was so good. So yeah, I'm very happy with what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super cool what Capcom's doing. And you are correct. They have spent a long time kind of fucking things up. So it's good to see them coming back. I mean, Monster Hunter's a huge hit.
Yeah, that was fun. I think the creator of Devil May Cry might have had something to do. I know there was somebody who like kind of was like, hey guys, what if we weren't assholes? Right. And then it's certainly working.
And even to do like go back and do Devil May Cry 5 after having rebooted it and successfully rebooted it with Ninja Theory when they did DMC, like that's
sold well, but
choice.
Fan hated it.
Yeah.
And then it's so pretty. Devil May Cry like isn't really my style, but I do really love what they did with the game. The style is so great, and I just watched the story because I kind of wanted to learn what happened, and I love them bringing back the old people, like getting Ruben Langdon in again as Dante was great. His character is just like, kind of like a Deadpool almost.
That's good.
And yeah, is so great, and it also has one of the best fuck yous in a game ever. Because like in one of the boss fights, you just like explode in a power move, and he's just like, fuck you! And it's great. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, Austin and Phil, we brought you in today to discuss Borderlands. So,
I'm guessing 3.
yeah.
I played 2 today. I mean, we can talk
2 is
about
good.
it.
2 is good.
So I don't know where to start with it. You have the floor, gentlemen.
All right. So with Borderlands 3, a very basic synopsis would be that everything about the game should make it be terrible, except the gameplay is so good.
Okay.
The story is the worst it's ever been. The villains are really, really weak. And they had a chance to do something really good with Troy and Tyreen if they made them different.
Okay.
But they are the exact same type of asshole. And
Are those the villains?
they're the villains.
Okay.
They're twins.
Okay.
And if they had done something to where one of them was slightly different, which there's obviously minute differences, but they're basically the same breed of asshole. And they're just, hey, we're the superstar. Blah, 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 blah. They're trying to be like Jack, which they shouldn't have done.
Like
one of them should have been
Handsome Jack
just, yes, Handsome Jack.
from Borderlands.
From Borderlands 2, yes. If I say Jack in terming of Borderlands, I should figure mean Handsome Jack.
Well,
Which he was great basically through improvisation. His actor, I don't know how much, but for most reports, most of his stuff was improvised.
that's pretty cool.
And I mean, I met him and it doesn't surprise me. He has a message from my dad and it's freaking so funny. They could have been better because, like, yeah, they're just really weak. The story is so tiny and short because we played it through first, me and my wife. That's who I was going through it with. She didn't know anything before. And the funny thing is she got more emotionally tied to the small characters than the ones who constantly die. And they're like, hey, love these characters. And then we don't.
Right.
But the villains were the weakest part. The boss fights are all the same. Like, almost, there's one boss fight that I like where you fight this giant monster and it's like this huge tree thing.
Grave Ward?
Everything, huh?
Grave Ward?
I think so. It's right before a vault and he's just this big tree.
Yeah, Grave Ward.
Yeah. But so many of the boss fights are just damage, 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 and then they have this invincibility phase, and then damage, 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 invincibility phase. Damage, 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 invincibility phase. And I'm like, stop with the fucking invincibility.
Right.
And that's just it for every single one. They do almost the exact same thing. And, you know, again, that's just, like I said, there's so many things about the game that should make it terrible, but the gameplay itself is so fun. Just going through, the gameplay really brings it to the forefront. But going back, yeah, the villains are weak. If one of them was a little bit more different, you could have gotten the diversity, a more serious character to ground them just a hair.
Right.
Because there's certain things that make you want to be sympathetic towards them, but they are just so far gone in terms of being assholes that I'm like, I don't like you. You're not good characters. The story is also really weak.
Are the characters something that has been a thing that you've liked about Borderlands in the past?
Handsome Jack.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say the way this works is it's the story is almost just as bad as Borderlands 1's story, but the story in Borderlands 1 didn't matter. You weren't in it for the story. You just wanted the cool world, the cool guns, and it was just fun. So you didn't care about the story. So it sucking didn't really matter because the characters were so great and everything else was fun.
Okay.
Whereas this game is like, you have to care about the story. We wrote it. Care about the story.
We wrote it.
And you just don't because, I mean, it really felt so tiny and like nothing happened. But in 2, the story is massive. Everything kind of seems to go along with it. And then Handsome Jack is everywhere, popping in and out. Every time you talk to him, you're like, yes, I want to hear what's snarky. How does he insult me this time? I want to
Right.
hear it. Whereas the Calypsos are like, hey, fuckers, what's up? And it's like,
good one.
I'm not entertained. There was one time that I liked what they did, and we had the subtitles off because it would mess with the cutscenes if you have them on.
Okay.
And there's a moment when you go into a train station and they are faking the announcements in the train station, and it's just ever so slightly off, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. And then they basically just call you butts and start laughing. That was the one part I liked, because I'm like, oh, that was funny. And then everything else is kind of just
Like the humor just doesn't land?
Yeah, the humor does not land. Maybe 10% of the time it's funny.
Wow.
I'd go as far as saying like 5%.
Okay, even better. Because it really seems like their team was almost halved. It really felt like such a smaller team, which, I mean, a lot of people left. Some people don't like Randy Pitchford.
Yeah. He's kind of a controversial figure just in general.
Controversial.
Got it.
And the other thing is, like, when it comes to characters, there's a lot of them that aren't in it. There's some of them that have died that were way more charismatic.
Yeah.
I also don't like that they gave you zero explanation for what happened with the Telltale stuff. Like, I didn't play it because I just didn't.
Yeah.
My dad wouldn't play. He loves Borderlands and has been in it. So he's going to go into 3 and be like, what happened? Because I told him this character died. He's like, what? When? I'm like, in this. He's like, that's stupid. Then it's a good death, but like, I was like, just something. Just a little explanation for what happened. Nothing.
Didn't they put out something for Borderlands 2 right before 3 that helped bridge that gap?
I think it bridges some of the story, but it still doesn't. I mean, I'd have to play it and ask me. I didn't play it because I wasn't really
that
doing
DLC pretty much kind of bridges the between what's happening in Borderlands, what starts with Borderlands 3 and the end of Borderlands 2.
Okay.
Kind of the Crimson Raiders coming together and regrouping after this big attack and, losing their friend.
Okay.
It's just them trying to come back to be themselves again, and other shit hits the fan. And
Did it actually explain any of the Telltale stuff?
Absolutely not.
See, that's a problem. Now, the other thing that has a slight issue, at least in the beginning, and is still an issue prevalent, like the entire cast of the game is almost just women.
Okay.
And it was weird because I'm like, it's not like I don't like women characters, but the women characters, other than one, a couple that are actually, there's a couple in the game that are really cool, but they don't show up much and one of them dies. And it's like, oh, great. I really wanted to know more about you. And then you die. Thanks.
People like Tiny Tina, right?
She's in it for 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well.
And I'm like, why?
She needs
so you
DLC.
Yes. So like almost the entire cast and everybody running thing is just women. And the cool thing with Borderlands is it's been a huge diverse cast. You got the guys, girls, all these crazy characters.
Yeah.
And there's one of my favorite characters, Dr. Zed, is not in the game. I don't know why.
Huh.
And he's such a charismatic, goofy doctor dude. Hey, my name is Dr. Zed and I'm going to gut you to pieces, but I'm a real doctor. Basically. And that's what and then again, missing one of the other characters who died. And most of the male characters are just idiots. And it's like, okay, are you just trying to push a little feminist message? I don't mind female characters, but you're giving us really bad ones. And it's like this one, she's so annoying. Like they bring in a new character, Ava, who you're supposed to love.
Okay.
And she is the most annoying piece of shit ever. Everyone hates her. And she is given everything, like literally everything. And you're like, what the fuck are you doing? This is also the worst aspect of the story. This is also another reason the story is terrible. You are not involved in the story at all. Whereas in the first game and the second game, it almost takes place in gameplay.
Right.
The story takes place in
cutscenes
cutscenes that you get to watch as everyone's dying and just shit is getting fucked. And I'm like, I just killed all of these people. Why can't I stop anything? Why am I not involved in these cutscenes?
That's weird. That's a weird choice to make.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No,
and it's me and my wife were both like, why can't we do anything? We said that multiple times. It's like, oh, you're right here watching it. And I'm like,
I have a
shoot
gun.
them.
Right.
We have guns, powers, and then it's like, you take care of everything. You fight everybody, you kill everything, and then everyone else gets the credit. And it's like, what the fuck? Even Lilith is built up as this god and like, oh, you did this, you did that. And it's like, no, I did that in Borderlands 2. Why? But so story's awful. The characters are pretty bad. There's some fun ones here and there, but most of it's terrible. So the other thing is locations. They have a lot of planets. Now, the problem with the planets is they are built like the biomes in Borderlands 1 and 2. Borderlands felt massive because it's one planet that you go all these crazy places on. Whereas now, every crazy place you went is a different planet. So the game feels tiny when you go to like 10 places. So we just played the DLC, which is playing at a casino. And it's like this big. It's like, you know, if a planet is this, it's like tiny in comparison, and it is bigger than a couple of the planets that you go to. Like the area you go to is much larger. And I'm like,
weird.
Why? And obviously it's because they can't just make these massive planets, but it's like,
right,
you're going to explore the galaxy and, but
it ends up not mattering at all. And it feels
so small because you basically get the same space as you have in Borderlands 2, but it's like 8 planets or however many it is. I don't remember. Also, one of them I absolutely hate, which it's Eden 6. It's a swamp planet.
That is the only one I've seen gameplay of, because that's the one that they were talking about.
I hate it so much because it's just twisty, windy. Everything looks the same. It's muddy. It's gross. And you just have to listen to Wainwright Jacobs as he just goes on and on about his father and his boyfriend and his guns. I hate him.
Got it.
Two spot-on impersonations, by the way.
I know. That was the one thing I was saying, because when we played it the second time, I was just done, because we just want to get through it so we can go to the other stuff and have fun. Because, again, the gameplay is so much fun.
Right.
So I just get to the point to when I'm frustrated with everybody, all the missions, the characters. And if I just say the most crazy thing that comes to my mind, that's usually very offensive, my wife will laugh and be like, what is wrong with you? And so I'll just be playing and go, Wainwright, my boyfriend. And I just say crazy, crazy things, usually things that I can't say on here. I would say them, but you don't want to edit, so I won't say them this time. But I had a spiel.
Yeah.
And I basically said this once, and we had to stop because we were laughing. And because it was after a mission, we were about to go to bed, and I'm like, I'm so done with these stories. And then he wouldn't stop talking. And so I just went on a tangent as Wainwright Jacobs and saying stupid things, and we're all laughing.
I gotta ask, how did you feel about the whole segment where you're looking for their vault key piece in the gunpowder room?
In the gunpowder room?
Just all that time of listening to Wainwright.
Oh gosh, it was there's some moments that are funny and some that aren't. It's kind of back and forth. I didn't really like it. Most of it was kind of, and it's like they keep giving cool things to other characters that aren't us, and we just get to sit here and go, ha ha ha. Is that supposed to be funny?
It felt like a lot of it was just dialogue to progress the story that you're just sat there.
Yeah. As in the cutscenes?
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say, again, there's small segments here and there that I like the ship, going through the ship, and you meet Ice-T.
Oh, that was...
So I didn't realize, like, this is the funny thing. When we were playing it, I'm like, there's no way that's Ice-T. This is way too good, because he's kind of a hammy actor.
Yeah.
I thought it was someone who was acting really well doing an Ice-T impression. But it actually was him. And I'm like, geez,
awesome.
That dude actually, and it's so, that might be the best part of the game. Because it is so funny. He's a little robot, so he's like a little robot teddy bear.
Okay.
And he's just Ice-T
Yeah.
through and through.
That's pretty good.
So let me see. I want to make sure that I get through stuff right.
What about you, Austin? Philip tends to be able to fill time. Yeah, and that's good. No, you did a really good job.
Hey, I'm not arguing.
But let's.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to it.
Yeah.
As a whole, I've been a fan of Borderlands since Borderlands 1 came out.
Okay.
And the story in Borderlands 1, like Phil said, the story was almost not there. But just because of how good of a game it was, it just pulled you back every time. Borderlands 2, they really ramped up the story, ramped up the size, and made a really good game. And Borderlands 3, like you said, we've got all these massive areas to explore, but they're all on separate planets, and that just makes the game feel so small that I kind of regret buying it.
Damn.
I will say one thing that was interesting with that kind of in the end is okay, but in Borderlands 1, it's super easy to replay because the story doesn't matter, so you're just playing. That was the one I played through a bunch of times, couple characters. Same thing with the DLCs. They're super fun. I would say the best, probably the second best character, because Handsome Jack's the best. But in the first game, they had a character that was General Knox, and it was in a DLC, and he was basically I had such a good explanation for it. I wish I could remember, because he's just this kind of sarcastic, like, I'm done with this stupid day job. And I had to explain it to Amy, and it was basically, I'm like, imagine if this actor was playing Eeyore, and that is General Knox. And I wish I could remember what it was, because it was such a good, it'll probably come to me later.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's second best character. He was the best until Handsome Jack comes, because he's just done with everything. He's kind of an asshole, but you love him.
Yeah.
And it had a really fun ending. And that was when it was a massive expansion and was like, this is what DLC needs to be. Mm-hmm. They raised the level cap, had this huge vault and stuff. Then, and that was super easy to go through. Borderlands 2, I didn't play any of the DLCs, because after playing through the game, it really felt complete to go through it once and be like, man, that was so good. So I didn't play it again, because I was like, I'm good. The third one, however, the story is like so bad that getting through it's easy, but the DLCs are so much better, because it really seems like their team is like, we got to write an entire game, but we have half our crew. Crap. But if you give them 4 hours of story, it's really good. Like the DLC is so much better than the game. It's not even funny. Like the story's way better. It's so much funnier. Just everything about it. Better. So the future, I think, is these DLCs is good, because they can really focus on this tiny thing that's one place. Because it's the DLC, it's one whole place, so they get to get everybody to make that one place.
Well, do you think... Well, I've got some news. They're putting out some new DLC.
Yep, I watched the trailer. I'm intrigued.
Borderlands. They just announced it at PAX East.
Yep. That's what I was excited for. I'm like, honey, Thursday, they're going to tell us. And she's like, oh, I'm so excited. And then when it was announced.
And so it's getting Cthulhu-themed expansion in March. So it'll be like a Lovecraftian kind of thing, which I'm pretty into. Most of the time, I like a lot of like cosmic horror and Lovecraft stuff. What do you guys watch the trailer for this, I'm guessing?
I did
yes. too.
What do you guys think?
I can't wait, honestly.
Yeah?
It's just one of those things that in Borderlands 2, they really went out of their way to try to make a connection to Hammerlock.
Okay.
And I know you said you didn't play any of the DLCs. I did. And in one of the DLCs, you really make a good connection with Hammerlock and actually get to know him as a character. And I'm really interested to see how this plays out.
I will say I liked him, even though I didn't play the DLCs. I got a pretty good connection with him because I did his side missions, and I really liked his character more in 2. I don't like it as much as 3. His character felt a little bit more like, not a stereotype, but kind of like some of their characters. Again, I think it's just because they had less writers, but they wrote them more like these are characters, not this is this character. He felt more like they were not necessarily queer baiting, but kind of. Mm-hmm. They seemed to make him more just like effeminate than he seemed to be in the other one, and more like these people are going to be their caricatures. Like this is the character of Lilith, So she's just going to act like this is her one note.
Yeah.
This character is one note.
I think
This
one note
character
is a super good way to describe them based on your explanation.
Yeah. Whereas, again, in 2, they really felt like the first time you meet him, he had more character than I felt he did in 3. A lot of the characters, because you meet them as there's just this kind of presence. That's why, again, you play through 2 and it really felt like I'm happy. And so I am excited about the DLC. I love the Lovecraftian style. It reminds me of the zombies in the first game, which was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care as much about Wainwright, but I'll at least be able to have fun making fun of him.
Right.
And again, from the previous DLC, it was short, sweet, to the point, but well written, well executed. There wasn't a lot of problems with it, and it was focused, which it needs to be.
Right.
And if they do the same thing, which it's seeming like they will, bringing back a character is cool, and give us the new weapons, and then hopefully after this one, they'll give us a decent level up instead of 3.
Yeah, that one really pissed me off.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like
they gave us 3
Cap
levels.
level went from
cap?
50 to 53.
I understand why,
That's
though.
an odd choice.
Well, there's a reason. They're worried about the balance.
Mm-hmm.
If they gave you more than 3, you could get a second last tier skill.
Okay.
So that would make
Yeah.
big power jumps in characters.
Zane would be broken in a heartbeat if they did that.
Right.
Which
In a heartbeat.
I actually kind of broke him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because in Moxies, there's a mod that drops that anytime you deal damage, you have a chance to activate your kill skills. And your kill skills are increased by 25%. So I have my clone and my drone going out, and every time they're hitting, they're activating it, and they have a thing that increases their duration. So I'm just watching their bars go like this, up
That's
and down, and they
awesome.
last the entire fight. And one of my kill skills is I get 40% extra damage, and it can stack. So basically, I'll be hitting someone, and it goes do 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 do, and then they die instantly, and I'm like, I'm really happy right now.
Right.
So where do I find this mod?
It's
Awesome.
called Seeing Dead, and it drops I got like 20 of them.
I went through the DLC twice with Zane and did not find one.
Were you playing on Mayhem?
No.
Play on
First-
Mayhem 3.
I'll do that tonight.
That's what we've been doing. We've been on Mayhem, and maybe it's easier in co-op. Maybe
Could
a little
be.
bit.
I play with one
But-
of my friends a lot,
Yeah.
so me and him will probably go on to Mayhem 3 or 4 tonight.
Mayhem, don't do 4.
Oh,
4
wait.
4 is a massive difficulty jump. You go from like 150% bonus to 1,000.
I know, it's huge.
They take
There's
away
so
the
much
negative
left.
modifiers, but I mean 3 still makes a huge difference. You're 500% in the loot bonus, which does make a difference. And do Mayhem 3, it should be good. 4, it's nice to not have the negative modifiers, but you get 750% extra on the loot drops, but they have like 1,000% health, 1,000% armor, 1,000% shields. We're going to go in this and be easy. Man, we were like, we got to bring it down. Because we were like doing everything to fight off one bandit.
Well, let's.
Do you have an LOB from Grave Ward? It just got buffed last night.
No. Oh, no. We've kind of just been playing with some of the stuff that we've gotten from the DLC. Like I got an ion cannon, which is lovely. She got the Duke Nukem rocket launcher, which is really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's one gun that I got from it that I've been loving. There's an SMG that you get from the Valentine's Day thing that's really good. So that's kind of what we've been running with. But yeah, if you go through that DLC, you got to do Mayhem 3, and you should get a lot of drops of it. It's legendary, and it has been the best for Zane by a long shot.
I'll do that tonight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future of Borderlands a little bit
Yes.
here. Because what we have on the screen here is the roadmap for the content update for Borderlands 3. And in light of games as a service becoming a larger thing since the drop of Borderlands 2, so like games like Destiny, and Destiny 2 that maybe didn't launch with as much content, but through DLC packs and paid content later down the line, they've really become full-fledged games that have a lot of content to now explore. And
Sometimes you got to pay a little too much.
Agreed. And Siege is another one that like there's a lot of people playing that game. That game is 5 years old, and it just hit its highest player total on Steam like 2 weekends ago.
Rainbow Six, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So with that being such a huge thing, do you think that that's the future for Borderlands? I mean, you're saying how good the DLC is and how good the main game maybe isn't. Is the main game more of a launch pad for them to provide you with more content and more detailed content than they were able to provide with the main game story?
In a sense, like, with how it is, that's the truth.
Okay.
I don't think that's what they were going for. As I stated, the reason the DLC is so good, like the game itself, if you incorporate the planet side missions and story, probably has about 40 hours worth of content if you get through it quickly. Like, it took us a long time to get through about halfway of the game, and then I'm like, I'm done with the side quests because we're going to do them again. And she's like, yeah, let's just go. And then we went quicker.
Sure.
But the first beginning, our characters are at 106 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So you take 40 to 50 hours of content on a team that can't handle it that well, give them 5 to 10 hours of content, which we went through it slower because we're just enjoying it.
Yeah.
You're going to get that focus that's needed on a much smaller scale. That's why I think it's way better because, again, it's focused.
Yeah.
And that's all it really needed because you just have these tendrils out of things that don't work. And some side missions are good, some aren't, but then everything in the DLC was good. They were really funny. Every side mission I enjoyed. There was not a bad one. The story was pretty enjoyable. The boss fights were way more fun, and they almost made fun of the boss fights. Because, like, the last one is kind of making fun of the invincibility phases. And I'm like, thank you.
Right. They have acknowledged that they know that this is,
hopefully,
players had an issue with it.
And
hopefully.
They are very much taking in what fans are saying, which is good. Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff, people are like, this is a problem, and they tend to fix it.
Right.
So the Mayhem 2, I'm really excited because Mayhem, they definitely made it better because they did some hot fixes to kind of fix drop rates and stuff because it used to not be as good.
Is that competitive multiplayer?
No, Mayhem is a modifier. Like, there's a thing where when you beat the game once, you do Vault Hunter mode, which is you start the game over and it's basically way harder, but you get way better stuff. That's how you get your max level loot.
Sure.
Then there's a little box that you can turn on your ship that's called Mayhem mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it basically is like, okay, if you do this, enemies have increased health, shields, and armor. And then there's extra modifiers, which are random all the time. There's usually about, it depends upon which thing you're running. But in Mayhem 3, it's 100, I think it's 150% extra on the 3 things. And then you get these random modifiers. The one I hate the most is often it'll be like enemies are 50% less to normal bullets, minus 50% on assault rifle. I'm like, I'm doing no damage.
Right.
But it's just modifiers.
Yeah.
But you get a massive extra drop in loot, iridium, and XP.
Okay.
And it's worth the challenge. It's playing at 3, it's not too hard. It is really frustrating, but it's kind of to the point of like, this is a challenge we can handle, and it has made my wife a way better gamer for sure. Because luckily, she's not bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be like you might have someone who's like really bad and you're like, I have to play with you. You're doing fine. No, she's gotten way better. I used to have to be like,
fine. You're doing fine, honey.
Other games we were playing, I'd be like, okay, make sure you're doing
it's the
this.
other way around with Rachel. She's like, you're doing fine, Ryan. Just
that is
come
great.
on. We can do it.
Yeah, but
I'll keep you alive, honey.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I'll keep you alive.
Yeah,
we can do it.
In the beginning of this, I kind of gave her a little tips because I'd played it before.
Yeah.
But then once she's like, I don't want to die. And so she does her stuff. Like in some of the other games, I'd be like, you need to use these skills. You need to do this. You need to do that. In this, she's gotten to the point to when she is like bossing. And for a huge chunk of the game, she was way better than me.
Yeah.
Because her character is Flack and he is a much better medium build than Zane. Zane is really like structured. But once I got that mod, I like shot way above her and I'm like, I'm just wrecking people.
Right.
So I lost my train of thought.
You were explaining why you were excited for Mayhem
that's
mode
right. Yes.
2.0.
I'm excited for it to, they haven't said a lot about what it is, but any update is good because they have, every update to Mayhem has been exclusively through feedback. They've
Okay.
followed what people have said and have really been changing. So I'm really excited for that. Revenge of the Cartel sounds cool because they already learned from what everybody hated about the Halloween event. When they
Okay.
did the Valentine's Day, you could turn it off, and it was just like in its little event. It wasn't annoying. It wasn't overplaced everywhere, and just because the Halloween event was a month, and it completely changed the game and made it so much harder.
Yeah.
Because every enemy you fought, you almost had to fight twice. Because every time you kill them, a ghost pops out, and then you got to kill that. You got some really good loot, but it was way harder than it was supposed to be. And everybody's like, oh, this is frustrating. And they've already learned from that. So the next one, I think, is same thing. They're very much learning quickly, and it's kind of like, okay, we understand the main game wasn't so great. We'll really work on doing the next bit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
then,
that is kind of exciting because I would like to play a version of Borderlands that I like. So,
what have you played?
I've played through some of 1 and I started 2.
Okay.
So, according to the last guy that we had on the podcast that talked about Borderlands, he was saying that he felt like this one plays better than either of those 2 games.
I would agree.
So, that's the part that I haven't liked, is the way that the shooting feels in 1 and 2. So I would want to play a Borderlands that I like.
If you get a good build, which it's pretty easy to do, like, because people have builds and builds and builds, and then I followed a couple and then kind of mod them here and there.
Yeah.
But it does play and feel the best, other than the fact that it kind of runs like ass. It's I'm like,
What are you playing on?
PS4 Pro.
Okay.
And with the split screen, it brings it down a little bit, but it's one of those things of like, this game should not run like ass. It's
Right.
not this beautiful masterpiece. It's a cell shaded game.
Right.
And it feels, I would say, the best, because even in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to go back to 2, because to me, it's really hard to get through the story of 2 because it's so impactful. It's like, and it's long.
Yeah.
The second one is really long, and I'm like, man, I don't want to just go through it again. Whereas 3 is like, we're just getting new stuff. And I'd say I would agree with, again, the gameplay is 90% of why it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Everything else is very much not great. Like almost all of the new characters, except in the DLC, they brought in,
Right.
well, they brought in one new character who's like the bad guy. Because at first I thought the character who you're kind of helping was new, but apparently he's from the pre-sequel.
Okay.
But you do most of it with Moxie because it's Moxie's blah, 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 jackpot. And it was way better. I love the characters, the script, everything about it was so good. So I think as they just keep going through the DLCs and can have focus on that script and story and the weapons and the stuff that they come in, it's good. I'm very excited about the future. I think it's very much going up. It's not going down. I don't have doubts. I have hope.
Wow.
On that last picture
profound.
that you had up,
Yeah.
it was just showing the future of Borderlands. It was missing one thing. We do know one thing about DLC 3.
Okay.
Outlaws
Really?
and dinosaurs.
I would be okay with dinosaurs. I like dinosaurs a lot.
They they had
a lot.
a thing out. It was pretty much just like that one, but it had DLC 3 and DLC 4 in there.
Okay.
DLC 4 just said coming soon.
Yeah.
DLC 3 had coming soon, Outlaws and Dinosaurs.
That'll
I like how
that'd
that
be all
sounds.
right.
And
Yeah,
it was
me too.
accompanied with a screen art of what looks like coal on a dinosaur.
All right. I'm on board with
Wait.
that. That sounds like some Wild West
Coal?
dinosaur shit.
From Eden 6 when you're taking over the town again.
Oh, is he like Cole? Was he the guy who you
I'm-
work with?
Might be misremembering his name.
I don't think it's Cole. But it's the guy who Wainwright sends you to work with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him. He's one of the characters that's good. He's in it for about 5 minutes, but yeah, he's very enjoyable.
He's there for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name,
All right.
but he's awesome.
Yeah.
Last bit of Borderlands chat here. We've got some news. The Borderlands movie director wants to cast cosplayers and murder them brutally, according to GameSpot. So,
Fantastic.
the hostile director, Eli Roth, is the guy that is going to direct Borderlands, the movie. He appeared with Gearbox at PAX East in Boston. And let's see, we got a quote from him down here. So starting off, he did his best Boston accent. You really need to watch the full video for the complete effect. Here's what he said. He says, "Dude, it's fucking wicked awesome to be here. I'm not going to do a Boston accent. I got fucking wicked hammered last night. Blah, blah, blah." So what does he say about Borderlands?
I do want to say one person responded to him saying, "I'm doing it."
Yeah.
With who they thought should play the 4.
Okay.
And it is really good.
All right.
They
Do you have that here? Go ahead. Yeah, hit it.
It's Ana de Armas as Lilith, who's the chick from Blade Runner 2049.
Okay, yep.
And also a bunch of other stuff. Pedro Pascal as Mordecai, which to me is just...
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Idris Elba as Roland, which I also kind of like. He might be a little old, but other than that. And then the best choice for Brick, freaking Dave Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
Which 100%, I'm like,
that
dude,
character
get some lug nuts on his fist.
Batista.
Perfect
Yeah.
Brick.
Yeah. I'd be on board with that. That sounds like a pretty good cast. And
I mean, if they do follow the first game, they could pretty easily improve on the story.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's not much there, and if you improve on it, just keep the feel, I think it'd be pretty good.
So, Roth stressed that it's very early days for the Borderlands movie. He says, "I'm so excited to do something. I think the movie is going to be great. We're just getting started, and there's nothing to share yet." So report it. You heard it here first, folks.
There's
nothing to see here. But that's cool that they're doing it at all. I think more games should get movie adaptations, and we've seen it be able to work in Sonic.
Yes,
recently
Sonic was
released
actually...
Sonic.
who's actually seen Sonic here?
I haven't seen it.
Nope.
But Detective Pikachu is pretty good.
Dude, I saw it.
Yeah?
I was thoroughly impressed.
Nice.
They did... The one thing that they did the best is... always these movies bring in the human character of you gotta have the human character.
Yeah.
And sometimes the way they do it, it doesn't work. Very much worked. He was likable. It was fun. Jim Carrey was like god of the movie. Everything he said was just pure gold. He was so funny and totally worth seeing. Really fun. And oh my gosh, that movie would have bombed so bad had they not fixed Sonic.
For sure.
Yeah.
His character is charming and adorable. And if he looked like whatever the fuck they made before, I would have been like, this is awful.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We will be right back with some news.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm also Chris.
And together we do a comedy podcast called Cooking with Grief.
Each week we dive into 4 surprising facts about anything from science to history to the weird world we live in, making jokes about all of it as we go along.
You can find us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
And you can also find us on Twitter at Cooking with Grief. No G on cooking.
Glitter, apparently, is so unique that it can be effectively used as forensic evidence.
The Bank of England's chief economist has urged to start using people's Spotify playlist as a way of measuring the economy.
In China, Avengers has been translated as Fulian, or Women's Federation.
Not only did the Russians capture the Crimean Peninsula, they also captured some Ukrainian military dolphins.
In Pinocchio, in the film, becomes a real boy. In the original, it ends with a cat and a fox hanging him from a tree.
Scientists have wiped a snail's memory.
And Slytherin's going, can we have an extensive series of tunnels sort of wide enough to fit a giant people-killing snake?
Where do you fall on the scone debate?
Scone, obviously.
Oh, I go scone.
So, what have you got to lose? Give us a try.
Nothing to lose but your sweet, precious time.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, and we're back from break, everybody. We're going to jump right into the news time. News time. All right. First bit of news. This is about Xbox stuff.
Xbox.
It actually also is kind of about Switch stuff. So popular YouTube channel Linus Tech Tips shows Project xCloud running on hacked Nintendo Switch thanks to Lineage OS. So I thought this was super fucking cool. And
I want.
It's awesome. So they installed Android on the Switch and downloaded Project xCloud through the Android store, and now they've tricked the Switch into thinking it's an Android tablet, basically. And super fucking cool.
Would that kind of maybe give it a bit more power, or
no?
Is it just fun because hey, my Switch is running Xbox?
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So in Project xCloud, you are just streaming it anyways, and Project xCloud can stream to any Android phone or tablet right now.
I was playing on Borderlands 2 in his living room while I was waiting for him to shower.
He was
today.
But it also gives you, like, this is also nice because the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Cons are more or less better to use than some of the solutions so far that we've gotten for Android actual controllers.
Peripherals.
So
my peripherals.
I kind of want to hack my Switch to do this, but
don't brick it.
But right, exactly.
Get a spare Switch.
I don't want to brick it, and you can only even do it on some Switch models because of, I guess, certain firmwares.
Our
and stuff
models
like that.
would be the ones that would on because we have you have
the older ones.
Switch, right?
I didn't get it at launch. No.
I'll
It was
tell you
close,
what.
Mine isn't either.
I'll tell you what. I'll go on eBay. I'll find one, get it, just so you can do it.
Okay.
Hey,
all right. That doesn't sound like I'm out any money.
Can you do that for me too? We need a Switch. My wife has been asking for one, and I'm like, no, we have no money.
I'm not saying you can keep it. I'm just saying I want a portable Xbox platform. I have no idea how to do stuff like that.
Okay.
So what? By we, he meant he.
Yeah. And then I would give it to him as a way to play xCloud games. So yeah, this is just super cool that this is even possible. I'll link to this in the show notes. You can watch the video. It's fucking amazing. I'm super stoked about it. I was hoping that, like, natively, because the Switch allows the installation of apps, and you can download them from the Nintendo store, but the only one on there so far is, like, Hulu.
Hulu, yeah.
Like, I don't think there's a YouTube app. I don't think there's a Netflix app. Hulu was there at launch and has been one of the only apps available for the Switch. Whereas, like, the Wii had
surprising.
a lot of apps. Like, you could use the Wii as a streaming media device.
Yeah.
So it's weird to, like, not see Nintendo embrace that part of the Switch. And they talked about it during launch, like having the Hulu be the only app available. They're like, well, yeah, we're just focused on the games. So,
I mean, yeah, the interesting thing with Nintendo is they're just kind of going to do whatever and not care because they're one of the people that can do it.
But do you think Nintendo would block the... Because they
definitely would not have it natively to have the Xbox thing.
The streaming app for Android, anyways, is just an app. Like, it can run on any Android phone that Microsoft puts it on. So, we've had collaborative stuff between Microsoft and Nintendo before. What do you guys think? Can we get this collab?
I want it.
It'd be cool, but I don't think they'd do it.
Okay.
It's definitely one of those things.
Thanks for shitting on my dreams, Phillip.
No, I mean, again, it's a cool idea, but you gotta think, are they really? Because then it's like, who's gonna buy, Doom on the Switch when you can just stream it?
Fuck. Yeah, you're right.
And I mean, them third parties are selling like
they're raking in cash on all those fucking ports. You're totally right there. I kind of forgot about that.
The thing I'm most surprised about is freaking Witcher. How?
I don't know.
How?
Right?
I don't know how it runs on the Switch.
It was funny, though. There's a YouTuber who I watch, Beat 'em Ups. He's Australian.
Okay.
And I think it was last year, because at E3, he did a fake E3 video or a Nintendo Direct. Mm-hmm. And he was just making all these so fake and like over the top. And one of them was Witcher on Switch.
Oh my god! And then
And he's
it
like, oh my gosh. And he's like, in case you guys don't get, this is a joke. Because the last one was like some horrible Wii pony game. It looked so bad. And he's like, oh my gosh, is this like Breath of the Wild? He's freaking out about it. And he's like, hey guys, by the way, this is really fake. Like really, really fake.
Yeah.
And then it actually came out and he's like, I didn't think it would work, but it did.
That's awesome. During the break, Philip, you mentioned also that you want to talk about the specs for the next Xbox, because we got some specs revealed and we got some details about some backwards compatibility stuff that we had kind of touched on last week's episode.
It's not the next box. It's this Xbox Series X.
Man, you know how much better a name would be next box?
Yeah, it's my favorite of the names that we thought of.
That would have been so much better and would kind of make sense.
Can I just get the next box, please?
Yes.
I get that on a t-shirt
It's like,
for you.
it's like freaking Microsoft and Nintendo both had the same day of coming up with dumb names. Xbox Series X and new Nintendo 3DS. Do you want the 3DS? Yes, I want the new one.
I want the new one.
You want a new 3DS? No, I want new 3DS. What?
I want it to be new, but I also want it to be new.
Which I will say that new one was awesome.
Yeah.
That power, big difference.
So yeah, we got some details on what's under the hood, and usually, like, this is weird because this was just tweeted out.
Yeah, and it was a lot of information.
Yeah, it
like
was
everything.
a lot of information that they just were like, okay, today's the day. Here we go. Put this out here.
I think they wanted to get it before everybody was scared of the coronavirus.
So it wasn't even a
Xbox
leak
announced
or
it.
anything?
I
No,
don't,
it
as
was-
far as
no.
I know, like the
No, it
Xbox
was
Twitter
Phil
It's just
account.
a
Spencer.
huge
Yeah.
page of just, hey, here's everything about
Here's
the
some
Xbox.
details on the
Shit.
Xbox Series X. So
And then the
14
stock market
teraflops.
crashed.
yeah, 14 or 12 teraflops,
Oh,
whatever
I was
the
wrong.
fuck
I swore
that
it was
even
14.
means. 16 gigs of RAM, 13 gigs guaranteed to developers. It will have an NVMe SSD, so that is the newest version of SSD. So that's a step further than just flash memory. So that is the fastest version of SSD that they make right now.
I hope that doesn't have some issues, and then also the pricing and size.
Pricing and size is going to be huge, right? So they didn't say how big of storage that will
These
be.
guys have got to be terabyte. You can't start out with the 500.
I just bought one of those SSDs for my laptop. I'm holding it in my hand. This is a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, and it was $134, and that was very near the cheapest that I could find a terabyte version of that particular one. Now, a terabyte is not very much space.
It's better than 500, though.
It's better than 500, but also when games are 50 gigs and you run them natively from your SSD storage, or will run them natively from your storage, like, what the fuck? That's 10 games that will fit maybe, and you won't even have a terabyte because some of that'll be console OS and all that stuff.
And I mean, even when you get it a terabyte, no matter what, there's still the programming on the thing. So you're getting about like 900.
Right. And then if you take into account that the video output of the new console will be 8K, and when we started last generation, we didn't even have 4K.
Yeah. Which
like,
I'm hoping that they
fucking
focus a bit more on getting us a solid, like a nice, solid looking, very pretty 4K that's above 30 frames or potato.
Or potato.
Because like they're like 4K. I'm like, just get us better frame rates.
Well, and Phil Spencer has came out and said like he's more focused on the frame rate and like the feeling of the playing of the game, rather than just focusing on is this 8K visuals.
Which I will
that's
say,
good.
I do hope that everything that they're saying is honest. I'm hoping that there's none like, oh, we're focusing on this, but that's kind of just them saying. I will say, for my opinion, because my kind of interest in Xbox has not been much, and pretty much my last big page on the Xbox was their horrid flop at the first E3, where they kind of shot themselves really bad in the foot and thus kind of gave the PS4 that generation. And this is a huge turnaround, which in the end is good. I am not really an Xbox player. I don't hate it, but I'm bigger on Sony.
Right.
But the better one does, the better the other has
absolutely.
to do. So
yeah,
if
I
we
mean,
get good competition.
Competition is good for the consumer for sure.
And I mean, you can't really doubt. I mean, the PS4 is one of the top selling consoles of all time.
Absolutely.
And it was like 2-1 to the Xbox. And it's good that they're not doing something stupid again.
Yeah. I think it's weird though, like, so we've got the name of the next Xbox. We know the name, PS5, obviously. Yeah. We don't have to guess about the name for the new PlayStation. But do you think it's
the next
weird?
station?
Yeah, the next.
This is going to be the one time they actually change the recipe for it.
Do you think that we will get any information? Because I'm not. Obviously, I have Xboxes. I don't have any PlayStation. Has there been any rumors or like a time frame for information?
Every day, there's a different confirmed day of when they're going to announce stuff. Obviously, I mean, it's going to be soon. Because I don't know.
Do you think that Microsoft is trying to force Sony's hand here?
I could
by
say
tweeting
maybe.
this out and saying like, hey, here's what our box is. Yeah. Put your shit out. Like,
I'm sure that's part of it. And then it could also just be, they just want to say, and I mean, heck, they said this right before the stock market crashed, so it's good on them. My hope is that this will bring them out because it was very obvious. And I think they even said they were waiting for pricing and stuff to see what Xbox does, which we don't necessarily have yet. We don't really have pricing yet, but I will say it was kind of smart. That's one smart thing that they've done, which they went E3 after Xbox. And so they were able to be like, oh, we can change a couple things real quick. So they're probably going to do the same thing with this, where they'll change a few things and be like, this is what we're going to do. But hopefully, because I want to know. Yeah, I want to know. And I want them to give some pre-order dates because I'll finally have money to get it.
Yep.
Which I need to have a small side note because this was a huge victory for me. The last time I was on the podcast, which I don't know if it made it in, but I did mention it, was the Last of Us 2 Collector's Editions. They brought back a second run of the Ellie, and I got one.
All right.
Awesome.
I was at work, 9 a.m, my stomach hurt, and I'm like, come on. And I was waiting, and they're like, it's going to be best by Amazon, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm like, I'll get it on Amazon because they don't charge you immediately.
Right.
And Amazon didn't do it until 11, which it sold out like instantly. So I'm like, fuck it. And I went to GameStop and I'm like, got it. And that confirmation email came in. I'm like, ah! And everybody's like, oh, GameStop doesn't charge you either. And I'm like,
oh, good.
Win-win. So until it actually comes out. But yeah, no, I have the Ellie edition pre-ordered. That's awesome. I was never happier in my life.
Congratulations.
On the 12 teraflops thing, I wanted to, so you get a perspective of what teraflops mean.
Okay.
So the Series X is 12 teraflops, right?
Okay.
The GameCube.
Let's go way back.
How far back are we going here, Troy?
Can we just go to like the Super Nintendo?
You take 1,276 and a half GameCubes duct-taped together, offered the theoretical peak performance of 11.99 teraflops.
Well, let's saw
this picture on Twitter and it was
great.
awesome.
I mean, why get an Xbox?
Yeah,
let's
I'm getting 11,000 GameCubes.
1,100.
1,100 GameCubes.
Let's get 1,000 GameCubes and be like, hey, here's your next box.
We should all get GameCubes. What do we even do?
I love GameCube.
That was like the best thing ever.
It was.
It was built like a rock. The controller was comfortable. It was fun. Everything was co-op. It was just perfect. And then Nintendo needs to make a GameCube too.
So, this article that we're reading here about these specs calls out that the Xbox One X had 6 teraflops.
Yep.
Because that's a measurement that we're going by now. So, that is 12 teraflops is 12 trillion floating point operations per second is what that means. So,
am I supposed to understand what that means?
In short, that means a console vastly superior to anything on the market, according to this Windows Central article. And it says potentially surpassing the GeForce RTX 2080 Super PC card, which I looked up. It currently runs for about $800. You can get this one for $541. That's not a super card though. So
now I know that they did
$700 somewhere around
recently
there.
give information that the PS4s cost $450 to produce.
Yes, correct.
Have they done anything on the Xbox's cost?
I haven't seen anything about what the Xbox cost to produce yet.
I think they're
what
still
talking
still
about. Is
putting that stuff
is there
together.
worry that this might be hitting to like the $600 range with what it's got? If so far the rumored specs of the PS4, because we still don't know,
right,
is that it's less than this, but they're probably going to change it to make it better, and that's at $450. If this is sitting better than what the PS5 was doing, and that was $450, this thing's got to be at least $500 more to produce. I'm wondering what we're going to hit.
Well,
which, again, a $600 console isn't the worst thing now.
Right. It was in the PS3 era.
I think I paid that for my Xbox One, right? What was it?
The
Xbox One was $500, right?
Launch edition with the Kinect launched at $500.
Okay.
And
it felt like a lot.
The Scorpio also launched at $500. The Project Scorpio Xbox One X launched at $500. Obviously, sans a Kinect. So they cut the Kinect and took the price immediately down to $400 for the Xbox One. Fucking 2
dumbest
months after
mistake
launch.
they ever made. I love the Kinect.
So
I use it all the time.
There's cool things about it, but also like it's still not like the seller.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's not. I
I
love
want
it
to say
though.
though, it is it. The funny thing is, the dumb thing I use it for is Just Dance.
Yeah.
Which it's way better than the PlayStation camera for tracking that specifically.
Yeah,
like,
for
I still
sure.
think
Yeah.
if you did the Beat Saber or whatever with the wands, you know.
Yeah.
So.
They called out that the processor that's in the new Xbox, the Xbox Series X, is 4 times as powerful as the one in the Xbox One X. So they are removing that bottleneck because that was a really big knock against the Xbox One, was the processor speed just wasn't there.
I mean, heck, that's what kind of is killing my computer.
Right. So moving on to some of the details about the backwards compatibility and the load times. What we were focused on last week was like, how would backwards compatibility work? Would you have to buy multiple versions of games? And they did address some of that in their Twitter postings as well, and they were responding to people who were asking questions. They do that every once in a while. That was pretty cool. Let's
Still
see
upset they never responded to me. Someone an answer. Jerks.
So, the Xbox Series X obviously is going to play all Xbox One games and be backwards compatible, but they talked about specifically addressed the issue of having to possibly buy multiple games. And Phil Spencer came out and said that Microsoft, as a publisher and the console maker, is going to afford the ability for other publishers to update their games so you will buy the game one time on Xbox, and if other publishers allow it, you will be able to get an updated version of that game on whatever console you play that game on.
Basically, like if you bought the Xbox One version, it would be you'd be able to play the
Series X version.
Series X. Gosh,
I know.
I'm losing myself right there.
I know.
The next box. We're just gonna call it next box because that's so much easier.
Okay.
You get the Xbox One, you can then have the next box version just there. It was like smart delivery.
Yeah.
Now people did jump really hard on that smart delivery. They're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, it's cool, but they're still giving them the option.
Yes.
Just like, are there gonna be some
But
cheapskates?
they can't force that from game publishers, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, you can force you think you're gonna force Activision and EA's hand?
No,
like
they're
EA
like-
is gonna fuck you as hard as they can at every turn.
We feel that you get pride in buying your next box version. We cannot give it to you for free. Have some gamer pride. Spend that money.
So yeah, they're calling this smart
Surprise
delivery
mechanics.
on Xbox Series X. And this Newsweek article says it allows players to pay once for a game. Exclusives like Xbox Game Studio titles, including Halo Infinite, are ensured that players will have to only buy the game one time.
So we're definitely vibing in the way that the Xbox in-house developers will be doing this smart delivery.
Yep. And all of that is also going to come to Game Pass.
Yeah.
which is fucking amazing.
I also
don't have to buy any more games.
Cyberpunk had
Oh
responded,
yeah, yep.
which was interesting.
Yeah, CD Projekt
'cause they
Red came
first
out
said
and
that
said
they
that.
weren't going to do anything.
They did, absolutely. They said, we're not doing a next-gen version. We don't have fucking time for that.
No.
And then they pushed it back, though.
Now you're going to get the pass. You're going to get it. We love you. We love you, fans.
They said not at launch, though. Like, they said that...
well, the game's launching before the new consoles come out.
So they said that you will get a next-gen version, but not immediately.
Yeah, they're
And,
going
like,
to
not at
allow you to
console
do the
launch.
smart delivery.
This sounds a lot like what Bungie did with Destiny. When it came out on 360 just before the 1 launched, they said, if you own the digital version of the 360 version, you can get the Xbox One version totally free.
Yeah, there was a smattering. Ghosts got it too. There was a handful of games that got it. Like, they got both versions, but since 2013...
They're making this as a service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Since 2013, games have gone increasingly more digitally in that direction in terms of where the purchases are happening.
Which, all I can hope is that this will then pass on to being in PlayStation, because then they'll just be... Because then it'll also make the publishers fight to get these upgrades, because if they're both doing it, they're like, well, Sony's not doing it, so we don't have to do it, but if Sony does it, then they're like, oh, we got to do it on both, because they're going to be fighting, and everyone's going to be like, do it.
What I can't wait for, and I hope we get it in the next generation, is buying a game, the collector's edition of a game, and just getting the digital version. Like, don't send me the game. Gears of War 4 had a collector's edition that you could get the digital code with, and that was the one that I bought because I want all the dumb physical shit and all of the statues, but I don't want a physical game.
I don't like you.
I'm in your boat. I want like the Ellie version of
I would
Last
say
of Us, but I don't want...
I would say like if they did both, because I like physical copies. There might be some people who don't. I do.
There might be some people that don't.
Especially steelbooks. I love me some
Steelbooks
steelbooks.
look good. You're totally right there. I'll give you that.
That was the best
They look
thing.
really, really good.
That's the best thing I got when I worked at GameStop for a couple months. Way back in the back, they had a steelbook for Last of Us, and I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, if you want it, just make a fake. Like you can make out one of their little fake boxes.
Yeah.
And they're like, if you do that, then yeah, you can have it. And I did. So I have the steelbook that I didn't buy.
Awesome.
And it's so cool.
Well, I've done that a couple of times with games where I bought from GameStop, and they open the drawer and they're like, okay, fake this, fake box, and I'm like, I want that one. And I did it with the Infinite Warfare. I didn't want to play Infinite Warfare. I wanted to play Modern Warfare. If you went to GameStop at the right time, it was cheaper to buy Infinite Warfare that came with Modern Warfare than to buy the Modern Warfare from the digital store.
Jesus.
I think I paid $20 or less, and I got both games, and it was like the collector's edition box.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to do anything.
There you go.
I did the same thing with Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
I was just going through, my disc just screwed up, and I went back to GameStop. Hey, can I get a copy of Black Ops 2? And then flipping through the little thing, and I'm like, I see that steel one. Can I get that one?
Yep.
Yeah, here you go. Got a really
nice version.
Got a really fancy Black Ops 2 steel case.
I have that. I bought the care package.
Oh, I did get the steelbook for Resident Evil 2.
Nice.
I'll say that's one thing that these collector's editions have done that I like, is most of them give you like an actual sealed copy of the regular case, and then you get a separate steelbook, which I like because then I can display the steelbook and then keep my game in the plastic one and take it in out. Borderlands didn't do that, but I'm like, it's in my console almost all the time because that's all my wife will play.
Man, what is it going to take to get you to embrace the digital future, Philip?
Nothing.
Nothing?
It takes nothing. It takes nothing.
No, nothing will.
I mean,
I know that
nothing will.
Like, because it's just nice to have a physical copy, and like nothing beats to me opening the shrink wrap
I
on a
do miss
brand
the
new game.
smell of the case.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird to say
Taking
that,
that
but just
plastic wrap off.
Yep,
Yeah.
and then the smell of that pressed plastic.
Because it's new. And you're just like, opening that plastic is like a rite of passage as a gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing why I don't like buying used, because you don't get that feel.
But my sister is 12 years younger than me. She may not even recognize that smell if they put it in candle form.
Yeah.
Like, that new game smell, if I could get that in a candle.
Then you have failed as a brother.
But like,
You have failed as a gamer brother.
It's so convenient to have it electronically.
I do get digital. Like, don't
Yeah.
doubt me. I do get digital because sometimes the sales are insane.
and the sales, yeah,
But
for
if it's something that I really want,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the longest time, it was so easy to make a switch because I was doing freaking Best Buy back when they had the Gamers Club.
Nice.
So I could get a brand new game and
Yeah, that was
save
a good
like
deal.
$15. $30 for 2 years, 20% off. It was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they canceled it. And then Amazon became assholes about it too. Because
Yeah.
they're like, well, now that Best Buy's not doing it, we're just going to give you a little code, bitch. And everybody's like, why, Amazon? You could have been nice, but whatever.
No,
No.
it's about making money.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Troy can attest to this. Like,
I have all of his physical copies of his games.
yeah, I gave
Every
him to
one of
Troy.
them.
I respect you.
Besides
I
those
respect
ones-
you.
Besides
Yeah.
those ones over
The handful
there,
of ones over there. A lot of those Rachel bought, and
those are
were
Rachel's games. I didn't get those.
formerly not backwards compatible, but most of them are now. So, and I own most of them digitally as well. So there's like really no reason for me to own physical media. I am so fucking lazy. I don't want to get out of my.
So it's pure laziness.
It's
Okay.
absolutely pure laziness. Like, I want to have all 300 games
I
at
don't
my
know
disposal.
why, but that makes me understand, and then I respect you a little bit more now.
to know that it's just laziness.
It's not just being like, digital's better. No, I'm lazy.
I'm lazy. Absolutely. I don't want to get up and change
That
it.
is understandable because I know that feeling. So like, if I get a game that I've already had as physical, and then like maybe it's down, like I returned it, or I'm like, oh, I beat it, and then years down the line it's $10 digital. And it's like, well, I might play it.
Yeah.
Never do.
No, you won't.
Never do.
Sure won't.
But you spent that money.
One game I need to get through is freaking Mad Max. 'Cause that's fun. It's one of the things that like it's clunky in a good way. Like it's
I think most people would disagree with you.
Actually, most people I talk to about it that actually like it kind of get that feel to where like it kind of fits.
Yeah.
It's more like I can tell that they were trying and it's good. It's just clunky because it just kind of is, where it could be clunky just because it's bad.
Yeah.
But it just kind of feels good.
I really like Rage 2, and I've seen comparisons
I
of
need to
both of
play
those
it.
games.
I played the first one, which was weird.
Yeah, the first
way
one's
too
weird.
short.
Yep.
It
Rage
was
2's
fun.
Rage 2 is pretty fun.
I love the boomerang.
Yep.
That thing was the
Wing
best
sticks
thing.
still got them in there. All right, we gotta get out of here.
Okay.
You guys ready to end this thing?
Sure.
I guess.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
guys.
Not really, but yeah.
There's more news, but we'll have to get it next week. Unfortunately, we got
Come
cut
to St.
this.
Louis and play Pokemon with me.
Yeah.
Buy your tickets; they're still available.
Oh my God.
No.
Got him. Yeah. All right. This has been Crazy Train of Thought episode, whatever the fuck you're on. Thank you so much for listening. We've been the Idiot Savants. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Phillip. Thank you,
Yeah.
Troy.
Yoo-hoo.
I've been your host, Ryan Wolf. Check out all of our social media links in the description below.
Leave me alone.
Have a good night.
Heyo.
Bye.
Bye.